volume jacked up here. Hello and good day, Algebra. We are covering PO48. Quite honestly, one of my favorite objectives of the year. Just because, well, you'll see why shortly. But we are multiplying two binomials. Now, who can remind us, what is a binomial? What is a binomial? Cole.
A binomial is a expression with two terms.
Right, that prefix bi, meaning two, okay? It's a two-termed expression. Yesterday, we focused on a monomial times a polynomial, right? We took 3x times 4x minus 5, 7x times negative 2 plus 4x, or even something like 9x squared times 8x to the fifth minus 3x cubed plus 10x plus 2, okay? And even though we just talked about it, kind of our process here was we're taking that term on the outside of the parentheses and we're distributing into every term on the inside, right? So 3x times 4x minus 5, 3x times 4x gave us 12x squared, and 3x times negative 5, negative 15x, right? And we talked about, that's our final answer, because why can't we combine 12x squared and negative 15x? Well,
because they're
not like terms, okay? With addition and subtraction, you need to have that like variable and that same power. 7x times negative 2 plus 4x, distribute in. 7x times negative 2 is negative 14x. 7x times 4x, positive 28x squared. Of course, you would rewrite this to be in standard form, but we'd be finished there as well. Who can give us the answer? Yes?
I had a question.
Yeah.
Couldn't you just like multiply the x's out and then the coefficients and then get your final answer?
No, because think back. So I think what you're asking is if you were to write this in expanded form, it'd be negative 14 times x plus 28 times x, and then put them together like that. Order of operations kind of says no on that. Why can't we do what she's saying and combine the coefficients and combine our x's to get like x cubed? Yeah.
So the negative 2 doesn't have an x.
Right. Okay. But in this step here, once we do the multiplication and we have that negative 14x plus 28x squared, in the past we've taken an expression like that and we've written it out like this in expanded form, and then we could see why we could multiply the coefficients together and add the powers. But why can't we do that here? What's stopping that?
Negative.
What's that?
Is it because one's a negative?
Not because one's a negative. Again, think about order of operations. Colin?
Because you can't an x plus an x is 2x, not x squared.
Okay. It has to do that plus sign, right? Because according to the order of operations, we have to multiply before we add, but we don't know what x is. So we can't multiply negative 14 by x or 28 by x and by x again. We don't know what that value is. So until we can multiply, we have to keep these separated, because that's got to be done before we would add them, right? When we're multiplying, all bets are off. That's why when we multiply 7x by 4x, if we want to write that in expanded form, there's no addition going on here, right? We're just multiplying everything. So that's why we can take 7 times 4 to get 28 and x times x to get x squared. Okay, so with that addition there or that subtraction, we have it here, we can't combine them. We break the order of operations. Yeah. Okay. Is that good? All right, last one. What'd you come up with? What'd you come up with? Paisley.
I came up with 72x to the 7th
Good.
minus 27x to the 5th
Good.
plus 90x to the cubed plus 18x cubed.
Oh!
I mean squared.
Squared, right. Okay. Yes, all across the line, coefficients multiplied, powers added. It's already in standard form. And basically it's just that distribution in. Every term inside of the parentheses gets multiplied by the term on the outside. Okay? So taking that and moving it to multiplying two binomials, we're kind of doing the same thing here. We're taking every term, each term in our first set of parentheses, and we're multiplying it by each term in the second set, which can get a little bit confusing if you don't have an order to it, don't have some sort of plan. Okay, so I'm going to show you three methods that you can use. They all work to achieve the same result. So whichever one makes the most sense to you, that's the one I want you to go ahead and use here. But it's all basically different ways to draw the line. Yeah.
Why do you need to put like the stuff in standard form? Like, what's the reasoning behind it?
You know, it's just kind of so that math is uniform. Math is one of those things that's a universal language, right? Everywhere you go in the world, 2 plus 3 will always equal 5. The numbers might be written differently or whatever else, but it's always been the same quantity. So just to kind of, if you are, writing a mathematical dissertation or a science dissertation or whatever, and people around the world are critiquing it, you want to have it to be as uniform as possible. Just like, we've got our language sentence structure. There's a certain structure that goes along with math just because it's used everywhere. Okay? Okay, so 4x plus 5 times 2x minus 8. The first method I'm going to show you, and I would recommend kind of drawing lines down the middle of your pages, maybe not the middle, but dividing it into thirds here, maybe like this. The box method takes the least amount of space, but just so you're not using FOIL and covering up the entire row because you're not going to have any room for anything else. So I'm going to try to keep our work in these sections here. But FOIL, we're going to rewrite these expressions below here, 4x plus 5 and 2x minus 8. FOIL is an acronym that describes the order in which these terms are going to be multiplied. And the F stands for first. Okay? So we're going to take the first term of each expression, which would be 4x and 2x, and those get multiplied together. And what is 4x times 2x? Nathan? 8x squared. Right? The O stands for the outside terms, and so again, we're starting with that 4x, but this time we're going all the way over to the negative 8. All right, the two terms on the outside of each set of parentheses. And so 4x times negative 8 equals negative 32x. Okay? So basically what we've done here is we've taken that 4x, we've multiplied by the 2x, and then that same term, that 4x, and multiplied by the other term, negative 8. Okay? What do you suppose the I stands for? Inside. Okay? I for inside. The inside terms, 5 and 2x equals 10x. And the L stands for last. FOIL is first, outside, inside, last. We've already multiplied the 5 by the 2x. We now multiply the 5 by the negative 8. And that gives us negative 40. If you draw your lines right, we call this old man FOIL. Anyone see the old man there? Kind of got the eyebrows, ears on the side, little smile there. Hey, old man. Okay? If you've done it correctly, old man FOIL will be smiling back at you. Right? We're not done yet. Okay? You're still here. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Yes. Actually, I don't know if I do. Never mind. I do. There you go. Okay, but we're not done yet. What else can we do, or do we need to do to write this expression completely and correctly? Colin? Standard form. Okay. There are any like terms that we can combine? What?
Yeah.
Negative 3 to 10.
Okay. If you do this correctly, your first term will always have an x squared to it. Your outside and inside terms will always be like terms that you can combine. And then your last terms will always give you a constant. Okay, so your final answer here, negative 32x and positive 10x give us a negative 22x. Your final answer is going to be 8x squared, and I'm going to write it above, space concerns there. 8x squared minus 22x minus 40. That would be our final answer. Can't go any further. We can't combine anything else because we have that x squared, x constant, right? It's written in standard form. There's no equal signs. You can't solve for anything. This would be the correct product. Yeah?
But since it's not like an equation yet, what if there was like an addition or subtraction? Like, because then it would be a better. Is there an addition or subtraction?
There are subtraction signs.
Yeah, but then why would you add them together?
To combine these?
Yeah.
Because it's how many x's that you have here. You have negative 32 x's and then a positive 10. If you have negative 32 of something, you gain 10, you ultimately have negative 22. Okay. If we were to graph this, and again, where we're headed with this is the equation of a parabola. Eventually, we are going to add an equal sign. You'll be solving for x, right? But for right now, we just want to focus on how to get to this point from two binomial expressions. Okay. Let's do FOIL with the next one as well. Kind of stick with this similar process here. 5x minus 3 and 7x minus 1. Okay. This time, rather than writing out first, outside, inside, last, I'm just going to put F, O, I, and L. What are my first multiplications here? Cool.
5x plus 7x.
5x times 7x,
times.
right? Draw the eyebrow there. 5x times 7x equals 35x squared. Again, that first multiplication will always give that x squared term. Then what comes next? The O. Sam.
5x times negative 1.
Right. We've already multiplied the 5x by 7x. Now we'll multiply the 5x by negative 1. And that's going to give us negative 5x. I? Anybody? Stands for? Inside. Okay. Now we're going to that negative 3. Negative 3 times 7x equals negative 21x. And then the last terms are two constants. Negative 3 times negative 1, hey old man, equals positive 3. Right. You look for what you can combine. Again, that outside, inside. Negative 5x minus 21x is a negative 26x. And so your final answer here, Cole,
would be 35x squared minus 26x plus 3.
Yeah, essentially these three terms together, right? 35x squared minus 26x plus 3. Okay. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, compliments, congratulations, criticisms on Old Man FOIL. Sam.
Nice job. I'm making me understand.
Anybody else? Maddie.
We put buttons down so I can see the rest
Okay.
of the
Crab claw. Basically the same thing, but we're drawing our lines a little bit different way here. Okay. So we're going to start again with that 4x plus 5. I'm going to give myself a little bit more space because crab claw, we need that top part there. So 4x plus 5 times 2x minus 8. We're still multiplying the same terms together. We're going to get the same answer as we got here, right? But again, it's just how we do it, how we draw the lines. Our first multiplication is still going to be 4x times 2x, okay? And 4x times 2x still gives us that 8x squared. Now in FOIL, for our second multiplication here with that 4x, we went under to get to the negative 8. This time, we're going to go up top. Okay? And 4x times negative 8 is still negative 32x. Same thing that we got over here. If we got something different, it would be a problem. Okay? Now we're going to go to that 5. And we're still going to multiply that 5 by the 2x. to get 10x. And we're still going to multiply 5 by the negative 8, but instead of going up top, this time we're going to go underneath. And 5 times negative 8 is still negative 40. Anyone see why this is called the crab claw method?
Yes.
Right? You do it correctly. Okay? You've got that crab claw there. Right? Crescent moon. I like crab claw better. It's more vicious. Okay? We still see we've got these like terms that we can combine. That negative 32x and that 10x there. So we have the same answer, 8x squared minus 22x minus 40. Right? We just drew our lines a little bit different way. Next one, 5x minus 3 times 7x minus 1. We already know what the answer is going to be here. But let's just practice. 5x times 7x. We're still getting 35x squared there. Right? 5x times negative 1. Again, what we're really doing here, each term in that first set is being multiplied by each term in the second set. That's essentially what's going on here. We just get to be a little bit creative on how we make that happen. 5x times negative 1 is negative 5x. Now with that negative 3 going underneath, negative 3 times 7x is a negative 21x. And then negative 3 times negative 1 is a positive 3. Okay? We still have the same terms that we can combine. Negative 5x and negative 21x. We're getting the same answers we got before. 35x squared minus 26x plus 3. Okay? Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, comments, congratulations, or criticisms on the crab claw? Finn?
You're gonna simplify, right?
Yes, we would simplify if your final answer. I kind of squished myself here with space, but ultimately 35x squared minus 26x plus 3 would be your final answer.
When you do this, when you do find out, it looks like a crab claw.
When did I? Actually, I grew up learning Old Man Foil. Crab claw was something that a student came back and showed me. It was like, well, this is how my teacher. I'm like, that's brilliant. I'm going to adopt that.
When was that?
Well, crab claws adopted.
8,
No,
9
it's
years
like
ago.
crab
Yeah. So yeah, I grew up with foil. This was new. Box has always been there. Usually I don't teach you that until CO48, 49. But I felt like, you know, if you know 2 ways to do it, 3 ways to do it is very good too. Tristan?
You're gonna make us do the math page.
Not today. No, we'll do that in class tomorrow. This is one of those things where like this, it's a yeah. So you know I've got COs, which are everything that I teach you. POs, Finn, are those most important things, the ones that require that. If I had like a superpower objective, this one would be an SPO, a superpower one, right? This is one of those things that going forward into algebra, graphing parabolas, into algebra 2, you're going to need to know how to do this. So we're going to take some extra time with it just to make sure it's solid for everyone. Cole?
What about the retake day?
Tomorrow's not going to be a retake day. I don't have your test ready to give back yet. So not everyone's taking it, so we'll wait for that till after.
Relabel things in SBS.
Should. So you have to get a 4 or 4 on it, not just 3 or 4. All right, the box method. Have you done Punnett squares yet in science?
Yes, we have.
Yeah, you have? This is exactly that. Well, not exactly that, but basically that. If we're taking 4x plus 5 and 2x minus 8, because we have 2 binomials, we're going to make a 2 by 2 box, okay? And I recommend that you make your box a pretty decent size, just because we're going to be writing terms in there, and if they're too small of a space to be scrunched up, you might not be able to read it. But we're multiplying 4x plus 5 and 2x minus 8. 4x and 5 will go across the top, and 2x and negative 8 will go down the side. Okay? It doesn't matter which one goes across top, which one goes down the side. They're interchangeable there. Yeah. Do you have a question?
Is it kind of like how you do like dominant and recessive?
It's basically, yes. Like this open square in the box will be the product of what?
8x.
It's going to be the product of 4x and 2x. You're going to get 8x squared here, right? The open box for the 2x and the 5, that's where our 10x comes from. Bottom left, 4x and -8, there's our -32x. And then 5 and -8, there's going to be our -40. Okay? Same four terms as we had in both the previous two, but what terms can we combine? Our x terms, right? They show up diagonally from each other here, so we can kind of recognize them. And we get 8x squared minus 22x minus 40, the same result we got both the other two times there. Right? Isn't this fun?
Stressing. Interesting.
That's
Yeah.
easy.
Oh shoot, I lost my line.
And again, some of you might look at old man formula like, not really my thing. Crab claw, not really my thing. The box method, that's what I like. Okay, so you might like crab claw, might like old man foil. All three ways work, which is the beauty of it. Doing the box method here. 4x and 5 across the top. Actually, let's
I already did it.
put 4x and 5 down the side this time, just to spice things up.
I already did it.
Good. That top left box, again, 4x and 2x, 8x squared. Top right box, 4x and -8, -32x.
Why are you doing the same exact one?
Oh, am I? Oh. Let's see. There we go.
No, but
You should sing your whoopsie doo song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoopsie doo song.
Sing it for.
You have to sing it.
Sing it for Klinger.
Hold on, let me make sure I got this right now. 5x minus 3,
And then you have to
7x minus 1. Whoopsie doo, I made a mistake. That's just part of what makes math great. We learn and we grow, and so can you when you say whoopsie doo.
Why do people not know
They don't have to do
what
the
a right?
5x and 7x. 35x squared.
I thought you wanted to do the
Folks, we're almost done. Stick with me here. 7x, -3, -21x. You should recognize these terms as from the previous two. 5x, -1, -5x, and -1, -3 is +3. If there's any downside of the box method is that historically students tend to miss those negative signs, right? They'll put 5x and 3, 7x and 1, okay? Just be very careful when you're placing these. If you misplace something, then obviously the answer you get is going to be wrong. So yeah, cool.
I thought you were going to do it the other way around.
Well, the other way around would be doing the same one again, since that's what I was in my head. But since this is a different question, I can't really do it the other way around.
Yeah.
It's different values. But so then 35x squared, combine our x terms, -26x and +3 is our answer. Yes, Justin. Yes, in fact, that's what you're going to work on in the next 7 minutes. I want you to practice, even if you're not a fan of one of the methods, I still want you to do it. The third one, which is x plus 3 and x minus 8. I want you to practice multiplying this with old Ben foil, then with crab claw, then with the box. If you get different answers, go back and look, because you should get the same result every single time. Okay. A little reminder, what's the coefficient to those x terms in the parentheses? 1, right? That's 1x plus 3 times 1x minus 8. So I will be available for questions. I can walk around, help as needed. This is the only thing that you need to get done. You've got 7 minutes to do it. Don't do anything on the second page. We will tackle that tomorrow. Maddie.
For FOIL and this next equation, your first thing I think is x times x.
Correct.
Would that be x to squared, or would that be just x?
X squared. X times x would be x squared. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, comments, congratulations, or criticisms on this? All right, math packet due tomorrow. If you finish this, work on your Khan Academy or your math packet. Those are your tasks. That is how you math.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.